being vulnerable to someone, you're doing two things. In one hand, you're belittling them, and then in the other hand, you're sharing your trust with them. Because
How is it belittling?
because you would not be vulnerable to someone that is all powerful, would you? Would you?
Interesting.
You would not. You would not be vulnerable to someone that could just snap you in half right there. That, like, if that was a crocodile right there, you would not be vulnerable to that thing, would you? Would you? Would you? In one hand, you're trusting it.
Power doesn't necessarily imply malevolence, a good natured power. And so someone would make themselves vulnerable in the desire to, that the other would also make themselves
Are they
vulnerable.
belittling them in the fact that they're containing them to the fact that they wouldn't do it? They didn't
That
say
is
they
super
wouldn't.
interesting.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, are you truthfully telling yourself a story right now that they're not going to bite your head down? If I told you they were going to bite their fucking head down, would you then like do it? You know what I mean? It's like, are you not belittling them, or are you just freaking crazy?
That's
And
really
so
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. And so it's just a truthful thing. You're not gonna willingly lose, right? Like you're not gonna be chill if you have a choice in the matter. I mean, if you know you're gonna like die either way, then sure, I'll put my head in the fucking mouth and I'll take my best shot with it. If you treat it as that, but I just led you down the story of the fact that you didn't treat it like that.
Well, okay, so crocodiles, right? You got Steve Irwin, and I feel like he shows a certain vulnerability towards the animals that he's
Yeah.
dealing with, and it makes him kind of superpowered in his ability to relate to them. And yet, he was murdered by animals.
Yeah, exactly,
So,
exactly. He didn't belittle
there's
them.
kind of both sides of it.
I mean, yeah, it is both. It is both. It is both. Yeah, I agree very much so.
So
Oh
it's a
God.
it's a creepy thing, that seems like there's that maybe is one of those like dualities, like vulnerability versus power, or
The
there
way
there
I
seems
encompass
to be
it,
a value to it though, and it's I don't necessarily think that his relationship towards the animals was condescending, in that
no,
particular
exactly. He
instance.
respected their power and was grateful to them. And
Hmm.
when it was his time, it was his time. And I that you just gave me such a fearful analogy there, dude. Because like, I mean, realistically, like when I think of like God and stuff like that or whatever, it's like I'm not putting my mouth in the T-Rex arms right now, am I? Like I
Like
know
by
this is.
being more spiritual, fate will
Well,
make you a martyr.
no, I'm just
Oh,
saying that I have to belittle God in my mind. If I claim to even think that I know God or talk to about anything, all of my prayers are simply vulnerabilities to what I know. It can really fuck me.
yeah. You don't take a very like when you pray. For most of us, you're not like all that aggressive about it. You're vulnerable. You let things. You're
Yeah.
honest and asking
Yeah,
and
and I
grateful.
wonder if like your image of God is belittling. I mean, it is belittling to God, right? Is there a way that I can pray that it's not belittling God? You
Wow.
know what I mean? Am I not taking like like an unfair bisection? Is there anything that's gonna make him happy? Like I mean, gosh, if I was like I had like all these people like complimenting the things that are not that like all the time at super surface level bullshits and stuff like that, like and then asking me for things, it's just so super disingenuous the whole thing. But but he meets you at your level. God belittles you too. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. I never feel bad for him. Never feel bad for him. It's a worse version of me up there. It's a better version of me up there. I mean, you know what I mean?
It's
Like,
almost, yeah, like grace is that moment where God is being vulnerable with you and kind of belittling you, and it's like,
yeah.
wow, you're doing that for me.
I saw a Prince of Egypt edit the other day, and I didn't realize he said this, but like it was like the you witness God's wonders, and it was like the 7 days of the fucking like everything that hit him. It was like, oh, that was his wonders. Behold. That's
Yeah,
all of his wonders.
old,
If those
old
are the
school
wonders,
God.
if those are the wonders, oh my gosh.